Parents often ask the question, could time out be emotionally damaging to my child? Although children hate time out, this method of discipline, correctly used, won't harm your child. In fact, the timeout method is an important tool in helping children to grow out of emotional and behavioral problems. However, when you use timeout, be sure that you aren't making any of the timeout mistakes. The following is an interview between my son Todd and Ms. Nolan, who is a psychologist in training. Ms. Nolan questions Todd about his feelings regarding timeout. Todd has experienced timeout since he was 2 years old. This interview takes place 7 years after Todd was recorded in timeout. Todd is now 9 years old. Let's listen to some excerpts from this interview with Todd.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 9 years old, and I'm in 4th grade.
What school do you go to?
McNeil.
Yeah.
And
What about your family?
I've got one brother, and he's 15.
Do you like to ride bikes or anything
And
else?
sometimes I ride my bike when it's warm,
That's
and I like to go sledding in the winter.
Oh, well, that sounds like you have a pretty good time. Okay, well, we both know that your father uses time out, and he teaches time out as a way to discipline children. Now, is that something that your mom uses too?
Yeah, she uses it at school, and doesn't matter how many people are bad, she just puts them in timeout.
What does your mom do?
Well, she just has them stand in a corner or something whenever they're bad. And one time I went over to her school and we were watching a program, and 5 kids stood up and she made them all go to timeout.
So your mom teaches schools. Does she teach like little kids?
Well, she teaches 5th grade now.
5th grade. Oh,
she used to teach first.
Oh, okay.
And she thinks it's a big change because she doesn't have to use timeout as much.
Oh, I bet she doesn't. So both your parents use it. Do they use it on you and your brother,
Yeah.
Eric?
But they don't use it as much now because we're older.
Well, what do you guys do, or what did Eric used to do that get you into trouble at home?
Well, we might break something or something like that, or just wrestle or something. And he hit me and I'd start crying, and then he'd get in trouble or something like that.
So you could break something or be loud at home? Or what about not going to bed on time and not doing your homework?
Well, I have to do that because they know that I'm going to do that because I don't want to have bad grades in school.
Okay.
So
that's not a problem in your house, is it? That must be nice for them. So what happens when you get, if your brothers were wrestling and you got, into timeout, what would happen?
They send it, my mom or dad would send us to timeout, and we'd both have to go in the bathrooms. We have 3 bathrooms, and we'd have to go in one in my mom and dad's room and the one just for guests.
Did you know, when your mom takes you to timeout, does she tell you how long you're going to stay in there?
Not really, not all the time. Sometimes she does. And you can't put them in the room because then you can play with all your stuff.
They found that out pretty fast, I'm sure. Well, how long do you usually have to stay in timeout?
About 10 minutes or 15.
10 or 15.
And one of my friends doesn't like it because her parents put it sometimes, if she's real bad, they'll put her in timeout for an hour. And that's too long, I think.
I think so too. I don't think she would learn anything from that.
And she doesn't really like that.
No, I think she'd find something else to do wherever she was and just have a good time no matter what. Okay, what do you feel like when you're in timeout?
Bored.
Bored. Do you ever feel angry?
Most of the time I'm angry. And sometimes I can take a bath or something in the bathroom, or take a shower.
Okay, so it's okay for you to do things in the bathroom then?
Yeah.
You don't have to just sit there?
But most of the time I don't.
Do you ever feel like it was unfair? That you shouldn't have been put in timeout? You usually think that whatever you did was wrong and you should have been, okay. What do you feel like afterwards when you come out of timeout? What happens then?
I'm not as mad, and I'm calmed down a lot.
What about your parents? Are they as mad as they were?
They just keep doing what they were doing. so they don't have much problem in that with that.
So they're calmed down too. How do you know when to come out?
Well, we have a time when they put it in a room that's like, so you can't set it down or anything. They put it in a different room.
So you can't change the timer, but you can hear the timer go off. Do you ever think that you just won't go? Like if you're doing something bad and your mom starts or your dad starts to tell you to go to timeout, do you ever think, I'm not going?
Sometimes, but...
Do you ever do it? Do you ever not go?
No.
What do you think would happen if you told them you're not going to go to timeout?
They just extend how long I'm in there.
So they would just add more time to it.
And finally have to go anyways.
Okay. Have your parents ever put a toy or like the remote control for the TV set? Did they ever put that in timeout?
Yeah, they put it on the refrigerator where we can't reach it.
Does that have a certain time that it has to stay there?
No, it's usually just a whole day or something if it's a toy. But the remote controller, it's not. It's usually there for about an hour.
That's pretty inconvenient to have a remote control.
The reason they put a toy in timeout is if I'm using it and there's something they want me to do and I don't do it for a while until I'm done with it, whatever, they just take that toy away that I'm using and they put it up on the refrigerator.
How long has your family used timeout?
I can't say ever since I was born because I don't know. But
does it feel like ever since you were born?
yeah.
Far back as you can remember.
Do
you have family rules like you have to make your bed, so you
yeah,
have to
we
do
have
your
to make
homework?
our bed before we go to school. We can't go anywhere. And my dad told one of our friends about that, and now they're using it.
Your dad's a bad influence,
Yeah.
so he's spreading the word. Okay, well, if you don't obey the family rules, do you go into timeout?
Yeah, but most of the time it's not something like that. It's just wrestling when we're not supposed to do, doing something we're not supposed to do.
Would you ever use timeout on your kids?
Yeah, they might not like it.
Do you think that's better than spanking them or lecturing them?
Yeah.
Do why?
Well, it's just easier for me, and my kids, they might, when they grow up and I spank them instead of putting them in timeout, they might hurt their kids when they grow up or something.
That's true.
And they might just hit their kids or something. I don't want them to do that.
Because sometimes you can hit a child harder than you mean to and really hurt them. You've used timeout before. You've put people in timeout before. Tell me about that.
Well, one time when I was in preschool, one of the kids threw a toy, and I put them in timeout, and the teacher came back and asked what they were doing in the timeout chair, and they said that I had put them in timeout. And that's about the only time I have.
You've used it. Is there anything else you can think of to tell me about timeout in your family?
No.
Okay, well, it's nice talking to you, Todd.
Okay.